Hello, everybody. It's so quick when it comes in. I love the new intro from Scott. It's beautiful. Every time I watch it, I think, oh, what's that? We've got so many beautiful memories. Thank you for watching again tonight. I know last night we mucked up and it was definitely my fault. Don't blame Billie. It was all me. But I'm so glad to have her back on the show. We're going to have a bit of a chat about new music and what's coming up for 2024. So if you've got any questions, pop them in the comments and we will get to them as quickly as we can. We'll welcome her into the room. Hello.
Hi. How are you?
I'm good. I am so sorry. Last night was my fault.
Okay. It's all good. We're here now.
We are here now. I said to Jules, the first show of the year, and I still couldn't get it right. So,
Still in holiday mode.
That's right. That's right. Oh my gosh. I got sick after Tamworth, so I got an extended holiday. I got a bit more time off because I had to stay at home. So we've had extra time to rest. How's your year started out? How's 24 been?
Yeah, it's been good. Back into the swing of things, work, couple of gigs coming up, one tomorrow night actually. Yeah, just easing my way back into the new year.
Yes, it's gone quickly so far. It's March already.
I know. I was only just saying that to someone today that I can't believe Easter's like 3 weeks away.
No. It's funny because chocolate Easter eggs have been out since Boxing Day. And I
was one of those people that grabbed them.
It's different chocolate. It is different chocolate, I'm sure of it. It's so much.
It definitely is. I always think that Easter chocolate tastes different from your normal chocolate.
Yes, 100% it does. I don't know what it is, but it used to always be the red tulip bunnies that tasted better. Now I think it's gone to the old-fashioned, the Cadbury, the big eggs, they're not the little one. Don't waste my time on a little one.
The hollow ones.
Yeah. I always go, if I'm going to do it, I may as well do it properly and feel really good for eating it.
That's right.
How are we going over there, Kaz, on YouTube? I think YouTube is a really great platform, and the sound, every time I watch it, it sounds clearer. So, Kaz, let us know in the comments whether you like YouTube over Facebook for the stream. 2024, as you said, you're working, you've got a show on tomorrow night. I always find it really interesting. Do you plan ahead your songs and do you get nervous leading into it? How are you going ready for tomorrow? Have you prepared at least already?
Yeah, so with my pub gigs that I do, it's so tomorrow night's a 4-hour one, and I'll generally, I do 4 sets, and I like to sneak my originals in as much as I can, but a lot of the time they're just covers, old school covers, country, some non-country that I think the audience will love and that I enjoy singing as well, of course. So tomorrow night's, a pub gig, and I'm heading to Dingo Beach and Airlie Beach next weekend for some shows there. And one of the venues that I play at in Airlie, they are very big advocates for originals. So that's really always nice as well to make sure you sing your originals.
Yes. How special is that? Because you don't get that at a lot of venues. And it's so important. It's so important to be able to play your original songs and let people hear who you are. And it's especially 4 hours of singing that's incredible.
Yes, the 3-hour gigs I seem to be completely fine with, but that extra hour really does make a difference. Like I notice when I'm getting back up for my last set on a 4-hour gig, I'm like, holy, especially because I stand too. So I'm like, can't wear heels or heel boots.
No.
target.
Oh my gosh, there's all these levels to it, isn't there? Do you
There
do you give yourself a bit of a break in between sets or reasonable bit of
Yeah,
time to
yeah.
yeah.
So I'll, usually give myself about 10 minutes, 4 times. So, yeah, it ends up being alright,
That's
going and sitting down, giving the feet a rest and the fingers.
oh, you need to, and the fingers bleeding and oh goodness.
I've not actually had my fingers bleed yet.
Oh, good.
That's quite the
Touch wood.
extent, but I know that one year in Tamworth, I was doing the busking on Peel Street, and
Oh,
they were pretty raw by the end of it.
yeah. It's hard, and then on top of that in Tamworth when you're busking, you've got the heat and there's so many layers of things to compete within that and other buskers that you're trying to get people to stop at you. It's a huge on top of all those regular exhausting things, it's a huge, huge thing to do.
It is, but I definitely would recommend, like, any artist that's, new to the scene to if they can get to Tamworth and experience that, it is pretty incredible.
Yes. Oh, it's 100%, and it's almost like a rite of passage, isn't it, to
Yeah,
busk?
definitely.
You gotta do it. You gotta do it at least once. Gotta enjoy it. Latest single, how is everything going? Heartbreak Subway Train. I love that. I love the title. How are you
Thank
going with
you.
all of it? And tell
Yeah,
us
it's
about the
going
title.
great.
How do you pick your title? Do you write the song or do you have the title first sometimes? How do you do it?
Usually, the title will be the last thing I worry about, and
Yeah.
I almost forget sometimes, and I'm like, "Oh, we actually should probably
Cool.
name this." So, majority of the time, it'll be, which I think most people do, is you use the title as, like, one of the lyrics that is most
Yes.
repeated, or sometimes you might go complete left field and pluck a lyric or a word from the song that isn't used much, but the title just came from the chorus being, "I'm on the Heartbreak Subway Train."
Yeah, that's
Yeah, it's
where
going
you get
super well. I'm, really happy with the response so far. I've actually had a couple of my friends say it's their favorite that I've,
oh,
released, which has been super nice to hear, because I was a little bit unsure how it would go, being a bit on the slower side of things and not having as much going on with it in the production. So, yeah, it's
I was
really
actually gonna
nice.
ask you that. Did that make you nervous releasing the different style? But it would, but it's so I think as an artist, I like to hear the different styles coming from a person. I think it shows different styles of your personality and your life and sometimes you do want that. You want something to change depending on how you're feeling and that sort of thing. So
Yeah,
I think
definitely, and I think too it sort of took me back to, my very first single that I ever released was "Company with Regret," which is quite slow, and it's like a 6/8 feel, so it sort of took me back to that place,
yeah.
and I personally think I listen to more slow music than
Okay.
fast, because I really love listening to the lyrics of the song and the meaning behind it, so it's one of my favorite things to do is listening to slower music, so kinda fits well to release something like that.
Yeah, 100%. You sound like you've started off to an incredible 24. Have you got any goals for this year that you wanna hit musically? It's like, I keep thinking everyone's done their, New Year's resolutions and they've got so much time to get to it, but we're 3 months in already, so we're kind of running out of time already. So have you got music goals for the year? You're gonna do more singles, more touring? What are you gonna do?
Yeah, definitely. So I'm actually heading back into the studio with Garrett Cato, who, recorded and produced, a few of my songs. And Garrett, and I are heading into this well, I'm heading to his studio, I should say, in May. And I've got 2 songs, locked and ready
Ready?
to record. I've got also another song that's, all recorded and mastered, ready to be
Wow.
released at some stage.
Yeah.
So it's just a matter of finding out which part of the year feels
Yeah.
right to release that. I might also record these 2 new ones and think that they should come first. It's really
Yeah.
just waiting to hear the final product, but I definitely wanna look and work more on my songwriting. I think that's really important. I definitely probably neglected that a little bit the last half of last
Yeah.
year. Um, so I love co-writing. I love getting together with friends and, bouncing ideas off each other. So I think, focusing on my songwriting is a big goal of mine,
Yeah.
for
It's
this year
hard
as well.
it's really hard to find that balance because you have to keep writing, because you have to keep releasing music, but you've also got to get out on the road and tour and grow as a person to be able to grow and make songs, as you evolve in the industry and in life. It's hard. It's a hard balance to find, and it's really hard to refine on skills when everything's such a fast moving industry and it's a fast changing industry. Um,
Yeah, that's
it's
right, and I think it's like any skill, you gotta practice it to get, better at it.
Absolutely. Yeah, it definitely is. It's just that finding that time and juggling, and then on top of that, you're usually working as well as touring. It's a lot. It's a lot to do.
It
Um,
is. But I
but
think too, I would love like, another goal of mine would be to perform more, live original sets, your 45 to an hour,
yes,
sets with a band. I love doing that. I got to do that on New Year's Eve as part of the Buck Wild
yes,
festival, which was so
yeah,
much fun. So I'd love to do more of that stuff. It's just a matter of, getting onto festivals, which any artist knows can be a little bit tricky. So that's definitely something that I want to keep pushing. And you get rejected, you try again.
keep going, keep going. The more they see your name, the more you apply, the more that they'll remember. Oh, she's been really keen to play for the last few years. Let's give her a go. But
That's
before, when
right.
we had you on the show before Christmas, it was not long before that New Year's Eve. I remember talking to you about the New Year's Eve show. How did that go? I know it was a few months ago now, but I was so excited to hear that you were on it. How did you go? Was it a good, fun night?
Yeah, it was great. So I performed in the afternoon, so it was very hot, but that was to
Yes.
be expected
Oh,
being, North Queensland and Townsville. But, I got to catch up with people that I hadn't seen in a long time, like Max Jackson, Zach and George. So it was really nice to see all them too. That's another great thing about festivals is the networking and
yeah.
seeing people you haven't seen in a while. And again, just a chance to play my own original music to, people that are actually there and wanting to listen to your own stuff
Yeah.
and getting that chance. And then afterwards, once the festival had sort of finished and packed up, I went and watched the fireworks along the Strand, which was really
Oh,
nice.
beautiful.
Yeah, had a
Yeah.
cocktail, but by then I was so ready for a cold shower. But, yeah,
Yes.
it was a really great afternoon and night.
The thing that and Tamworth probably highlighted it for me even more this year because it was quite a hot Tamworth, but I always look at you guys on those stages and, even when you're doing a bit of emceeing, like, those lights are on you, the heat, the weather, like, you have to stand up there and look nice and sing so well, and it just must be so hard, exhausting. Every bit of you would feel drenched, I'd imagine. Um,
Definitely.
uh, yeah, I watched it and I think, "Geez, I'm glad that's not me." When I
I
saw you
actually ended
guys,
up having to take a ring that I had on off because
oh,
my hand was sweating so much from playing that it was actually starting to come off and hit the
oh,
guitar string, so I had to take that off, but, that's just the perks of living where we do, which is also so beautiful, but
it is.
very hot.
You've gotta take the good with the bad, don't you? And and
That's
and
right.
and it's better than being too cold, I reckon.
I agree. We have a festival here in Charters, which is the Charters Towers Country Music, and it is
Wow.
in May, the first weekend of May usually, and that's when the cold snap really comes in. And I have played there before when it was really cold. Well, for me, it was very cold,
Yeah.
and I struggled to, move my fingers because I was
Yeah.
cold.
100%. I actually couldn't. I know, especially in Tassie, we know what cold is, so we're good at
Yes,
cold.
you do.
That's another thing, like, in the heat, you can try and cool yourself down, but in the cold, moving your fingers and playing guitars, oh, I couldn't imagine how hard it would be. I struggle to write with a pen, let alone actually pick some strings and get the right ones on top of that. Like, that's something that's another whole level to it again. But Kaz, I saw a comment come through a moment ago, but I missed it. I'm so sorry. Here we go. Yep. Keep trying. John Stein, the author, Gra- Grapes of the Wrath of Mice and Men, was rejected 900 times. Are you
Woo,
serious?
that is a lot of
900
time.
times. That's insane. I wonder if he changed anything between sending it out. That'd be
That would
really
be
love those
interesting. I
stories.
actually did,
Yeah.
read somewhere on socials that Lainey Wilson was rejected from, I think it was, like, American Idol or something, like, 5 times, and I thought,
Yeah.
"Well, everyone gets rejected, you just gotta wait for your
100%.
time."
I always think those those rejections, I think they make you better as an artist, or better in life, not just in music, but just in life. I think they make you wanna work harder, and they make you change, and they make you, think and evolve, and I think they build us just as much as the positive things.
Definitely, and I think also it comes down to how much you just enjoy music and
Yeah,
performing and writing, regardless of whether
yeah,
you get rejected or not. If you love it, then you're gonna continue doing it.
exactly. It makes you really think about the reason behind doing it, and we actually were
Yes.
talking about that on the show before with Jamie Lindsay, and we touched on it tonight with you. If you're doing it to release music and make money, one, it's never gonna happen in the music industry. You might be able to buy yourself a coffee in 100 years' time, but, um, if you're doing it for you and doing it because it's a part of who you are, I think that's when you do become successful, because we hear that in what you're singing, what you're putting across, but a lot of the time music is it's the release, isn't it? It's how you get your emotions out and continue on building life.
Yeah,
Um,
definitely agree with what you're saying, yeah.
how are you going? So you said that you've got some songs ready, one song ready, and you've got some more to go into the studio. How do you go with the studio? Are you getting more and more comfortable every time you're in there? Is that part of the process that you enjoy? What's your
Yeah, definitely. I think too, it depends who you're recording with and if you have recorded with them before. So
Yeah,
this will be my third time actually recording with Garrett. So I think already we've got a bit of a relationship where I feel comfortable. I've met him. He knows who I am. I know who he is. So that definitely helps. And I
yeah,
think too, yeah, it really does come down to who you've got that connection with. But
yeah,
I love getting into the studio and because you really see something come to life. Like
yeah,
you've heard it from the idea in your head right down to maybe playing around with a melody to acoustic guitar to then a full-blown production. It's pretty unreal to watch
it's
that
huge.
all come together and then to share that experience too with either session musicians or your producer.
Yeah.
So it's a really amazing experience.
I agree. I love that we get to be there for the initial what it comes out of your head as, and on the paper, the words and the sound. I love hearing how what you initially write and the sound and how it ends up. Like how I love to look at going, oh, look how much that changed from there to there. Or no, we didn't actually change it that much this time. I love the ins and outs of that sort of thing, and the different instruments that you choose and why. That's my thing about music, I think.
That's right, and I
Mhm.
think too, with someone like Garrett who does this for a living, he's always in the studio every day. So I really trust his opinion as well because he does it so often and I love his work as well. So when he gives me a bit of feedback or advice on maybe change this or do this, I really value that as well. Him being honest, and then we can bounce off ideas, and he might, suggest something that I would never have thought of. So it really does help having someone that is
100%.
also a musician himself, which is unreal.
Absolutely, and that's the thing, the more you do with each other, the more it'll change as well, because you just get to know each other better and better each time. Sorry, there was another comment there that I missed. I'm sorry.
That's all
Oh,
right.
Lainey Wilson was rejected on what was it? Was it The Voice, or was
I
it
think it was
Idol?
American Idol or, like, The Voice. It was one of them shows, but I do remember seeing it.
Yeah.
I did do, a songwriters retreat with Luke O'Shea actually at the DAG Songwriters,
Oh, wow.
retreat in Nunda, which is in New South
Yeah.
Wales. It was also very cold, but he is awesome, Luke, yeah.
Gosh, he's funny. I cry with laughter when he's around. He's just such a great songwriter, such a great person, but also he's got such a wicked sense of humor. Only 3 people in the audience. Can you imagine that? 3 people at a Luke O'Shea concert, because he's so entertaining, and now, yeah, it's incredible. Um, I think Australian music, we're really lucky at the moment. We've got some really great people touring, and I love that you're seeing people like Luke and everyone. They've got new artists touring with them. They've got like we're all well established and new. We're all mixing so well and getting out on the road together. It's great. Um, as you were saying about you're going into the studio in May. You've got some shows coming up. Have you looked at to the later sort of time of the year? Have people been sending you messages since releasing this single, wanting you to play in certain areas? Have you got any sort of plans to get out a bit broader as you go for the year?
Yeah, definitely. Always plan and would love to do it. It's just a matter of how you
Mhm.
go about it. Like I mentioned before, I'm definitely not short of applying for,
Right.
you know, festivals. It's just a matter of getting onto those festivals.
Yeah.
But I do have a residency in, I believe it's June in Winton, actually.
Right.
So that'll be fun. It's the tourist season there.
Yeah.
Again, they want something that's a little bit more sit down and you can have a chat with the audience and share stories and songs. So I'm really looking forward to that. Hoping, get to meet some people that are traveling around. So
Sounds a
that's in
bit
June.
that sounds a bit like almost like a songwriter of the round where you give a bit of your story before you do the song and the meaning behind it. That sounds like a really
Yeah, and I'll throw some covers in there too to make up for the time because I think they're about 3-hour gigs each night. But I
yes.
think it'll be a bit more intimate having that connection as well. So I'm looking forward to that. Um, as far as the back end of the year, I've got a few more gigs booked in Airlie, some in Townsville, but nothing major yet is on my roster. Again, not for the lack of trying,
No,
just being completely transparent here.
you're
But
welcome.
yeah, I would love to hopefully get more opportunities. That's the whole point of it, I guess. But yeah, definitely still doing my gigs, which help fund all of the recording and the
Good
photo shoots
point.
and
Yeah,
everything.
'cause it's not cheap, is it? But
No.
well, it sounds like with your gigs though, you're doing really well because you are managing to put your things in there. Because you see a lot of artists that don't do that, and I think it's really important to keep doing that.
Yeah,
Um,
thank you.
Tell us what we had. Wendy popped a comment in there as well before. She said, "Love your work and your passion for music. Keep doing what you love, and the rest will fall into place." That's
Thanks,
so
Wendy.
true.
She's actually from, Charters Towers here as well, so that's really kind. Thank you. And Kez,
Um,
I think too, she said saying, that she loves the new single, so I'm glad you
Yes,
love it. That's awesome. Thank
she
you.
did say that. She said something about the new single up further. Kaz, I love her reviews. So when she says a song is good, you know it's good. I love
Thank you,
she's
Gaz.
very honest. What is the best place to keep an eye on you and where you're playing and when you've got new music coming out? Because I assume with the next lot you'll probably do some pre-orders and pre-saves as well, before the release date. What's the best spot to look out for those?
Yeah, definitely. So, all social media, if you go to my website, you can find it's up there on the screen, my YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, but I would definitely say Facebook, would be a great way to keep up to date with everything, but I'm pretty all over all of the socials. I'm still getting my head around TikTok. Um but, streaming platforms are obviously very helpful. The more you stream and share my stuff, the
Yeah.
better. But yeah, pretty much everywhere, and you can do well, look, I definitely don't look
There
like
you
that
go.
photo right
I
now.
love that top
I
though.
love it, thank you. Full of makeup and hair and
I know.
lighting.
It's amazing how much work we have to put into all of that, isn't it? And then we go and
It
have a
is,
shower at
and I
night and wash
come
it off.
straight from work, so you've got me I've been at work since 7:30 this morning, so you've got
Oh
the real the
gosh, I
real
love
me,
that. Me
which we
too.
love.
I haven't make-upped, I've done nothing. I came home, I'm like, "I have to quickly get into the studio." Um, and if
Keeping it
you hear a
real.
crash, my cat is actually looking like he's gonna fall off the top of the bed at the moment. He's on the bunk. So if you hear a crash, it's just the cat. Um,
Okay. Lucky
he's
they have 9 lives.
Oh yes, this one's very lucky he has 9 lives, because I'm fairly certain he's tried to push every one of them. Um,
But yeah, any socials, you can find that, and any time that I am releasing a song, you'll be able to, pre-save and do all that.
That is wonderful. And we'll say something else I was going to touch on when I was just talking then about the socials. You said you're giving TikTok a go. Good on you, because I don't like it. I
I
like
think
watching.
it's just like, I love TikTok. I scroll for way
Yeah,
longer than I'd like to admit,
yeah,
but filming yourself, I think
different.
it can be a bit hard to, get out of the mindset of, because 'cause I'm obviously from a small town that people in that town are watching. You have to sort of get your head away from that judgment zone
Yeah,
and just be
yeah.
like doing it, and also remembering, I'll go to film like a get ready with me for a gig, and then I'll forget to film the rest of it.
Yeah,
I'm like, I've got half of it.
yeah, that's right. You have to do half and wear the same stuff next time.
Yeah,
So,
exactly. So, yeah, definitely on my goals to get better at
yeah,
documenting on TikTok, because apparently that's where it's at,
that's
to get your stuff out there. So,
other
um,
thing that I love seeing on there is the behind the scenes stuff when you're recording, that when you're actually creating
yes,
songs,
I
you
will
feel
keep
good.
that in mind because I love watching that type of stuff
Yeah,
too. So, I will definitely have to keep that in mind.
that is so beautiful. And while you're there, we're gonna give a shout out to Jules at Wild Heart Publicity, because
Yes.
she is amazing and she sends us through all her artists. She is one of the hardest working women in Australia, I reckon. She does not
Hell
stop.
yes.
How are you
Message
going
her
with all
any
the
time of
interviews?
night and she will reply.
Yeah, come straight onto it, and you bring her and she'll answer. She's always so happy and happy to have a chat, and you think, "How do you have the time to do this?" So, Jules, thank you so much for sending people through. Um,
Yes, thank
right,
you.
how are you going with all the interviews? Is
Yeah,
you
good. I
got
actually set alarms on my phone for, like, 5 minutes prior
that is
because I don't know, I'd, like, have to check the schedule the first thing in the or probably the night before, then I'll set the alarms, because if I don't set an alarm, I will forget, and it gives me 5 minutes to quickly go, "Okay, I've got a radio interview." I've actually
yes.
got one tonight at, I think it's, like, 9:25
Oh
PM.
god.
I know
Oh
my
god,
bedtime's at,
get
like,
back to my
9,
bed.
so
Past bedtime.
I
You're doing
know, so
bed.
I'll be up tonight doing a live
Oh,
interview.
do you have to work early tomorrow?
No, I don't, thankfully, so, no work tomorrow.
Good, just your shows. Just your shows tomorrow
It's my
night.
show at 8 PM.
So 8 PM tomorrow night, where can we go? Is there still can we still get in to that
Oh,
venue?
yeah, it's just at the, if you're from Charters Towers, obviously, it's, at Irish Molly's, and then next weekend playing at Dingo Beach on Saturday at 12 PM, and then Lola's in Airlie Beach, right in the heart of Airlie,
Ooh,
at 7 PM. Great
there
cocktail bar. I've not been to Dingo Beach yet, so I'm really excited to check that one
you
out.
Yeah, that is exciting. We'll have to keep an eye on you and what you're doing. Send us through some pre-orders and pre-saves when you've got them ready. But I can't wait to see some of that behind the scenes footage. It's always nice to see you doing the side that we don't always get to see. I love that creation. So thank
Definitely. Thank
you.
you so much for having me and supporting Heartbreak Subway Train.
Absolutely, anytime. We love having you. Go out if you haven't already. Go and have a listen. Save it to your playlist. It always helps. If you scan the QR code right now, you
Yeah.
can do that. It will take you straight there, because I have an amazing person that helps me do all of this, and he knows how to create those things, because I don't. Uh, I look at it and think, that looks really hard, so I don't know how he does it.
Well,
But
he's done a great job.
he has, absolutely. Thank you so much, Scott, and thank you very much for joining us today. We
No
might have you
worries.
back. I can't wait to have you back in, and it sounds like fairly soon with new music.
Yes.
Very exciting. Thank you,
Awesome.
everybody.
Thanks for everyone tuning in and your very supportive and kind comments.
Thank you so much, everybody. We love having you. We'll be back next week. I promise I won't muck it up again. We'll see you all next week.
Bye.